Alexander, how you doing?
Very well, thanks, Jake. Yourself?
Very well indeed, very well indeed. So look, you've got all you need for the new season. I can see you've got your helmets, you've got your Mahindra team top, and your Coral Eyewear, of course. How are you feeling about finally getting the new season underway? I guess it's been frustrating having to wait, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's been a little bit frustrating, but to be honest, the fact that I've changed teams, it's giving us a little bit of extra time to prepare, do extra days in the simulator, get up to speed with all the systems. So for my personal situation, it's no bad thing actually. But yeah, itching to get going now. It's been a long off season.
We're talking because we're both involved in Coral Eyewear. You're one of our ambassadors, and we're very proud to have you as that. You've got your own range of eyewear that people can get their hands on as well. Just explain to us why doing things right by the environment is important to you.
Well, it's something that I've been interested in for quite a few years now. It predates my involvement in Formula E by many years. Um, I think that the first moment where it seemed to click in my head was I just remember filling up with petrol 3 times in one week in my Golf. I don't know what it was, 10, 12 years ago. And it was just a moment where I just suddenly thought, this isn't sustainable. Like, regardless of what it's doing to the environment, we're going to run out of petrol, of oil. And that was really the first thing that kickstarted my interest in electric vehicles. And from electric vehicles, you then think about how those vehicles are powered, where the electricity comes from, and then wider sustainability topics in general. And that has then, moved my interest onto, what I eat, what products I use in the house, what things are made of, whether they're recyclable or not. And so now being involved in Formula E, it's a wonderful situation where I'm able to sort of merge the two sides of my life, which were quite separate before, and be able to work with partners like Coral in Formula E, where we're driving forward to achieve the same goals, and be able to use my platform for that. It's a fantastic situation to be in.
It's great. I mean, look, I love the fact that we're sitting here having a conversation, and I've got my sunglasses here. Not that there's much use for them at the moment. You're wearing your Corals as well. This was plastic in the ocean, plastic in landfill, and now we're making use of it. That's one thing you're doing. Obviously, Formula E, we all know, is really pushing the environmental credentials of motor racing, and we'll talk about that as well. But I'm really interested for people that are watching this thinking, Alexander talks about living a sustainable lifestyle as a racing driver, as a busy guy, as a dad, as a husband. What can I do to learn a bit from that? What are the things that you do in your daily life? What are your kind of non-negotiables when it comes to the environment that you stick to?
Well, I think driving an electric car is a good step. They are expensive as an upfront cost, though. They're more expensive than their petrol diesel equivalents right now. They're getting cheaper. I think year by year, each generation, they're getting closer to parity. Simple recycling, cutting down on single-use plastics. I've got another partner called Non-Plastic Beach, which produces a lot of plastic-free houseware products, which are really simple alternatives to switch to. I mean, I consider what I eat. I cut down on my meat. I don't eat meat anymore. I sometimes eat fish, but I'm largely vegetarian. But these things, I think lifestyle changes, if you look at everything and try and do everything at once, it can seem, well, hang on a sec, that's a lot of things to suddenly incorporate. But what I found is over the last sort of 6-7 years, every few months, you're just made aware of something else. And you think, oh, does that work for me? Doesn't it? And some of them don't work for everyone, but if you can just make a sort of transition towards sustainable practices, they don't feel like a burden. You find the things that work for you, and if lots of people do lots of these things, not everyone do everything, then it can make a big impact in the end.
There are so many racing series around the world, and I know that Formula E, since launch, is carbon neutral. is it important to you that we understand that it's not Formula E here and then road cars as a totally separate thing? You know, eventually you think we'll all be driving a sort of non-petrol, non-diesel car. So this is a look at the future for all of us, not just racing.
Yes, I think Formula E is, I mean, it's super relevant to manufacturers at the moment. You know, every OEM is pretty much committing to either going all electric in sort of 10, 15 years or producing significantly more electric vehicles in the future. And so putting a lot of research and development into electric vehicles. And Formula E is a great platform to be able to help push that development forward. You know, when you develop powertrains and all the associated systems for 2 racing cars, you can explore things that you just can't when you're looking at series development platforms that you're going to have to make hundreds of thousands of cars. So you can explore interesting materials, techniques, ways to build things, and then take those learnings and just incorporate them on a lesser scale. But it's a great platform for that. And I think the other side of it is just the general awareness that Formula E brings to electric vehicles without shoving it down people's throats. You know, it's a cool sport that's exciting to watch, and it happens to be electric, and people are just made aware of the electrification element of it, so that when they go to buy or lease their next car, they just consider, you know what, could it be electric, could it be a plug-in hybrid? And I think many people, as we're seeing with the numbers of cars sold nowadays in the UK, it's a lot of people are thinking, actually, I can make that step.
I think the key though for Formula E is that if it's sustainable but boring, it won't be a success, will it? It has to be sustainable, has to be fully electric, but then the racing has to be good as well. And for people that haven't watched much of it and are maybe used to watching other racing categories, the racing is proper wheel to wheel, quite often all the way to the flag. And you can get, a power boost. You've got drivers running out of battery power at various times over the last few seasons. It is a really exciting and compelling series. How different is it to compete in?
It's really out there in terms of comparing it to other conventional motorsports. The rule set that you have to deal with is quite bizarre, honestly, to start with. You find yourself thinking about things in the race car, about efficiency, about your battery consumption, your strategy of when you take the attack mode to get the increase in power, and also just when to use your energy that you've got in the battery, because it's up to you. It's not there's nothing set out at the start of the race when you have to do it. So it's fascinating. As you say, it's a great championship just from a pure sporting aspect. If you do well in the championship to start with, the qualifying format is such that it becomes very difficult very quickly to repeat a good result. So it's quite often that the champions are towards the back of the grid at the next race. So there's lots of battling through the field, and the cars are quite robust as well, actually, which from a driver's point of view makes quite a big difference. You know that you can throw it down the inside, have a bit of argy-bargy, and probably get away with it. And you're not relying on the Formula One levels of downforce and technical, what's the word? The high-level technical bits on the car that you need to do the lap time. Sorry, in Formula E, it's if you lose a bit of a corner of a wing or something, you'll be all right. You crack on. So it's it all comes together to create a great sporting spectacle.
It's great. And we'll obviously at Coral be watching with interest to see how Mahindra get on. You've had pre-season testing. What do you think? Can you read much into pre-season?
I think you take it with a pinch of salt. We will actually be racing at the Valencia Ricardo Tormo circuit where we tested that, where previous seasons we haven't, just due to the pandemic and the realities. We will be going back there to race. So normally it's completely irrelevant, but this time it is a bit relevant. But yeah, it seems like we're in the ballpark. We're in the place which we want to be in terms of being able to. Looks like we should be able to race hard with everyone and be able to get some good results during the season at some points.
So look, Alexander, you're sitting here talking to us wearing your Coral Eyewear. How many other drivers tend to race wearing eyewear?
It's not that common, Jake, actually. I would say more people wear contact lenses than glasses, but there are certainly drivers out there who wear glasses like me. But no, I mean, with these glasses, they're super lightweight. The material, the conal material, is actually has a bit of give in it, so that when it's under my helmet, once it's warm, it sort of flexes around my head quite nicely. So it's pretty comfortable under the helmet. But yeah, it's something that I just didn't like the feeling of the contact lenses on my eyeball, and so I opted to wear glasses. And yeah, pleased that these ones work well as well.
I think that for people that haven't got their hands on a pair of Corals, the big thing for me is how lightweight they are. Mm-hmm. It's incredible, isn't it? And I often just still look at them and think, you were just floating in the sea. You were a load of waste plastic. You were sitting in landfill. It's one thing recycling stuff. It's another thing taking it out of the ocean, recycling it into eyewear, and then also promising people that when they're done with them, we'll take them back and recycle them again, so that we're never adding anything. You know, we talk about planet positive at Coral, and I think that that's the key, isn't it? Actually making a genuine difference to the planet, along with looking okay as well. Absolutely.
No, I think to have a product that's continuously recyclable it's fantastic. I mean, single-use plastics, being able to recycle them once is a good thing. You know, it cuts down on their impact a decent amount. But yeah, to have a set of glasses that that can go on and on and on, absolutely brilliant.
I look forward to seeing them on the podium at some point.
Yes, me too. Me too. That's the plan this season, hopefully.
Yeah. And the exciting news is, Alexander, particularly for people that want to get closer to Formula E and a bit closer to Coral Eyewear as well, we're running a great competition, aren't we?
Yes, yeah. The Mahindra Racing Experience is going to be the prize for 2 tickets to a race event, meet and greet with the whole team, and obviously winning two important sets of Coral Eyewear. So looking forward to that competition, and the lucky winners will have a great time.
Brilliant. Look, I'm so pleased that that you're going to be wearing Coral Eyewear, racing your Formula E car, because I just think it just helps us to spread the message. The big thing from my perspective is that it's not like you either look good and have good eyewear, or you do something green and recycled. This is everything all in one package. You no longer need to kind of make allowances for the fact they're recycled. You know what I mean? You can get recycled perfection when it comes to eyewear, sunglasses or glasses.
Yep. I mean, so many people wear sunglasses. It's not a product that I guess wants to be replaced with nothing. You know, people will continue to wear sunglasses, and so to be able to create a sunglasses that is recycled continuously and looks fantastic and feels good on your head as well. You know, it's not there's just no compromise to me. It's really fantastic product, and first time I've ever had pretty much a product in my name at all, I think. So it feels a bit strange.
This is good
from a personal point of view, but it's cool. You know, I've had team members and friends comment on them already. They look really nice, and yeah, it's just nice to be involved with Coral and to be spreading the word about a product that's doing good for the world. So
brilliant. And look, from our perspective, we're so proud to have you as our ambassador, because we could go and just get a racing driver and say, look, you know, people know who you are, you race around the world, do you want to wear our eyewear? But for us, it was absolutely important that it was someone that genuinely needs eyewear to perform at the top level, but also actually cares about the environment, not willing to just say they care because they want to wear the nice eyewear that we produce. You know, you obviously have a real passion for it, and that is so important to us.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, meeting George and the team, it's been nice to understand the whole process behind not just the glasses, but the packaging that the glasses come in, and the whole philosophy of the company. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Out of interest, how did you get involved in Coral in the first place, Jake?
I have a scholarship scheme with the UEA in Norwich, where I pay for young people that can't afford to go to university to do their degree course. And it was through that I met George, who was a UEA student at the time, and he put his studies on hold, and he founded Coral Eyewear with his dad, Calvin. And I just thought it was a brilliant concept. And I remember when we first discussed it, I went to London. I was in London for the day, and I'd been talking to George, and I just assumed that it was so simple and obvious. Eyewear from plastic out of the sea and out of landfill, that surely all the big brands are doing it. All of the main stockists are selling it already. We'd kind of missed the boat. And so I was in West London and went around to quite a few opticians, and I said to all of them, can I see your green range? Can I see your sustainable eyewear? And I was met with blank looks everywhere. And when you talk about the millions of, just in the UK, the millions of pairs of eyewear every year from virgin plastic, most, in the opticians, all of the ones with the kind of the fake lenses, just so people can see how they look, that get thrown in the bin. It's unsustainable. I think it's unacceptable. I think the eyewear industry needs to do so much more to protect the environment and protect the world that we live in, that I wanted to be part of it. And I think it's a brilliant story. And then the other key for me was, as soon as I saw the eyewear and I saw the quality of it, that's also key from my perspective. Probably the same as you. It's nice to know, made in a little artisan factory in Italy and all hand designed. It's proper,
Absolutely. I think I find that actually quite astounding that in this day and age, with, I would say, general awareness of sustainability increasing a decent amount on sort of 10 years ago, that there wasn't a single sustainable set of eyewear already. But anyway, absolute kudos to the Coral team and you for getting things started. And yeah, I can see a shift in eyewear happening now. It's nice.
Good. Well, you will drive it forwards for us, as you will drive your Mahindra car to some great results, I've no doubt, over the season. We will watch on with interest, and as soon as coronavirus allows, we'll come and cheer you on at a racetrack as well.
Really looking forward to it. Thanks very much, Jake.